In a world full of questions, sometimes the answers find you. This Lens Day, the veil lifts. Step into the circle, ask your question, receive your message. We will be live with Lynn, giving free tarot readings. Real insight, one magical hour. We'll also share how you can help with Miracle of the Season, our global tradition of giving, joy, and togetherness.
So please join us every third Wednesday at our new time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Lens Day.
Hey there, friends. I've been thinking we all have our strengths, right? I can do this, but I'm not so great at that. I'm pretty good at talking to people, but I'm not so great at adding things into a website or app. Oops. I love speaking, sharing stories, but social media, all those hashtags and algorithms, yeah, that's a jungle I haven't quite figured out yet. Coming up with ideas that bring folks together? I'm all about it. Bookkeeping, let's just say numbers, and I don't exactly get along, but that's okay because someone out there is good at those things, and when we work together, magic happens. See, Community Pay It Forward has never been about one person. It's a program built by many to support even more. Every one of us brings something special to the table. We all have talents that make us great on our own. But imagine how much stronger we are when we bring all those talents together. That's what Community Pay It Forward is all about. Your skills, my skills, our hearts, working together to make a difference. So tell me, what are you good at? Let's find out together. Visit communitypayitforward.us and join the movement.
Born into a real fight wasn't right. Where can she dream here? Took a hold of her life, left at night, stepping out of her fear. Bring me home, out of love.
Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. It is Zach, president and founder of Community Pay It Forward, Community Dare to Care, and the PAC channels. You are here with us on Community Impact. As you saw just a couple minutes ago, we've only got 15 days left to record the stories on the Miracle of the Season. So please record. Let's get these recordings done. You can record yourself creating your favorite holiday dish, whether that is something from Hanukkah or Christmas or Chinese New Year. I know a lot of these have to do with food. It's Eid would be another one that has to do a lot with food. Well, actually, that has to do a lot with fasting, but afterwards, there's a lot to do with food. But a lot of these, winter solstice, whatever you celebrate, let's make sure that we're getting this created dish, show people what it's like, and help people build their traditions. Record a story. We're going to have an example of that here on Monday. I am recording a story to my grandkids. So, um, Monday, we will give you a little taste of what that looks like. Dun, dun, dun. So please join us. Create a story for your grandkids or record yourself reading the story that meant something to you. Maybe your aunt or uncle read you a story every year and it sticks in your heart. Grandmother, mom, dad, whatever. Maybe they read you a story. Are you unable to be with someone? Shout them out. Say, hey, you know what? I know the miles are many, and we wish we could be with you, but we're not. Remind people you still love them. You wish you were with them. You're thinking of them. Just remind them that you do still think about them, even though they're not there. Look, this is the most difficult time of the year for many, many people, regardless of religion, regardless of race, regardless of everything. This is a very, very difficult time. Can we please come together, record some positivity, and together we can create 37 hours of good, of fun, of positive information that can create the miracle of the season. So please record, record. Help us. If you have anything that you would like to donate to where we could auction off, we would appreciate that. If you would like to financially support us to get books into Northern Colorado hospitals, that would be great. We greatly appreciate it. We've already taken 2 boxes of books and games and crayons and pencils and stuff to 2 of the hospitals, and they were overjoyed. We really want to do more, so please help us out. We have 2 interviews for you today. I had both of them learned a ton, and so I'm really happy to share with you. Of course, it is the second Wednesday, so the first one is our buddy for his monthly show, Mr. Les Simpson, and for the master class. Sorry, got lost there for a second. Mr. Les Simpson with the master class. So have some fun with this. If you have any questions, please make sure you write them down in the comments. We will get a hold of Les. We'll be able to answer the question. These are 2 new things that are coming up that, if you're in business, can really, really help you, help your employees, and help your sales. Hello everybody, how you doing today? It is Wednesday, which means it is Community Impact, and it is the second Wednesday of the month, which means we meet with my good friend Mr. Les Simpson. How you doing, Les?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing good. Another year has come to an end.
Yeah, I know. Can't believe it.
But in your world, Les, things are just about ready to begin, right?
Yes, that's true. Pretty excited.
So, yeah, you've got a couple things that we're going to be talking about, but you've got some really exciting news about programs that are just about ready to get launched.
Yes, and it's pretty interesting. It all has to do with neuroscience. One of the things that, needless to say, I knew J.W. Wilson for a year and a half, and I studied under him. And with his book, Cracking the Learning Code, I've done more study of it, needless to say, since he's gone. And now I understand more about it. But it is so interesting. It's all designed or proof, all the studies, because there's, 30 years of study, $9 million in the book, over 1,000 references to other articles. And it all has to do with the way we were designed by our Creator. All depends on your belief, whether it's the universe or God, but we were created. And we were created with certain talents, abilities, and interests. And those, if we allow them to, and if we don't, we fight them, all it does is causes stress, because we were designed this way. And but if we fight them and try to be somebody else, it causes stress. And actually, this is the scary part. When it causes stress, the body goes into fight or flight. And the blood from the neocortex drains out, because now it goes into the muscles and so forth to either hit somebody or run. And so when we fight who we are, we actually reduce our creative problem-solving ability for our regular, what we're good at. And that's what the neuroscience shows. And it's hard for people to realize that we were created to do certain things. When I talk to people about that, they shake their head yes. But then when I tell them, for instance, there's now an assessment which will show them who they were designed by, or who they are. And I tell them there's certain things they shouldn't be doing. They should be delegating them, or they should be contracting it out. Some of them say, well, maybe that's why I don't feel good when I do that. But some of the stubborn ones say, oh, no, I can do everything. And so for the ones that want help, it's there. For the ones that want to continue in their prideful journey, it's there. And so, but this assessment, first off, this assessment was designed over 40 years ago. It was designed by a Christian business person, and it was designed, it's very unique in the fact that when you hear assessments, you hear Myers-Briggs, the DISC, others out there. A lot of assessments out there, they sell them for lost leaders. And they tell a company, let's say they have 100 employees, and they tell the company, well, most of the people will only need the assessment, they won't need the coaching. But what they're actually doing is there's a lost leader to get people to do coaching. And if they have 20% of those 100 that take a $5,000 coaching, they've made $100,000 on the company, on their lost leader. We don't do coaching. This assessment shows you who you are, not who you need to be coached into. And and it's very unique that it has 9 parts to it. And that's one of the things that we're going to watch a video here. And then a 5-minute talking about the value of the assessment. And when you get the video yourself, underneath, there's a white paper that shows the validity of this, because so many assessments say they will do different things. We had outside testing and so forth to prove it. And then there's a company testimonial of a lady that owns 3 companies. And she said once she put people in the places they were designed to be, first off, they wanted to do their work. They wanted to be the very best at it. And second, her management time was reduced tremendously. Talk about benefits. And so let's go ahead and watch this 5-minute video, and then I'll speak.
Yeah, one of the things that I really want to make a point on is one of the better things about this assessment is once you take this assessment yourself, it's also really good to understand who you're talking to as well. is you can take this assessment and put it to action when you're talking to someone else as well, to see what, to see if it matches. So, but this is an assessment. Les and I will be back as soon as this is over. So thank you for joining us today, and we will bring this video up to screen.
Also known as JR. I've been in business myself for over 30 years with Rennie Lindsay & Associates, and I'm bringing to you one of the tools that we have uncovered as being really impactful in the way that we approach business. One of the most important things with being a business owner, being an entrepreneur, is to convey your values and your vision to your employees. They're representing you 24/7, and if they are not on board with your values because A, you don't know what they are, you don't know how to communicate those to them, then they're going to be representing you in a way that is not going to get you the results that you're looking to accomplish. So how do we go about doing this? At Real Living Assessments, we have an assessment program that dives deep into each one of your employees. We figure out what your motivated role is. We figure out what their impact style, their temperaments, and then also their interests, abilities, and values. And we put all that together to give you a real detailed, objective viewpoint of the strengths and shortcomings of each one of your members of your team. So why is that important? Well, think about it like you are a manager of the baseball team, and you have a great shortstop, but your pitcher is a little weak, and your second baseman is a little weak, and your catcher isn't quite up to par either. Well, you know you're going to have problems. You're going to give up runs, and that shortstop isn't going to be as effective as he could be if there wasn't a really good second baseman. What we do is, through our assessment program, we give you a way of analyzing each one of the members of your team to see where they would flourish the best, where you can get the most out of them. Which one is a utility player that you can put anywhere? And which one is an absolute specialist and can only function if you give them a certain environment? Something like they need quiet to be able to perform their work as opposed to working in a bullpen. They need to be able to be around people because that part fuels their fire. These are all different insights. And the reality is, one of the mistakes we make is that we frequently hire people that are just like us. And so we're missing people that are going to be more system oriented, or we're missing people that are on the creative scale. So what we do is we give you these tools, these assessments, where you can go back and evaluate where each one is, where you can actually place a specific team member to be able to accomplish your goals. Now, obviously that's going to have immediate impact on the bottom line, where people are actually going to be able to function at a greater degree and be able to really flourish in where you're at. But it also helps you, because one of the roles of a leader is to make yourself replaceable. If your business cannot function without you physically being there, you're going to be limited in growth. You need to be able to delegate your responsibilities to other people. You need to be able to stick to what you do really well and delegate those things that you don't do well. And so to do that, you need to find people that are different than you and to be able to measure them, but also make sure that they have your values. Make sure that they also are on board with your vision. So, succession planning. If you're looking to eventually be able to move on from your business and be able to manage it remotely, really, really important. Conflict mitigation. Let's say that you have a certain quality assurance manager that is always at odds with your sales manager. And the two people are absolutely valuable in their positions, but what's happening is their personalities, their designs are conflicting to the point where you're almost at the point where you have to choose between which one you're going to keep. We can help you with that. Because part of it is that those two specific type of individuals are so uniquely different that they will have a natural conflict, and that will continue if they don't understand what the other person brings to the table, why they are both dependent upon each other. So we do this through a design discovery meeting. That's where they've gone through their assessments, and we've actually digging deep into that person's design. We do it through leadership training, where we actually teach you how to be able to look at these assessments and be able to make managerial decisions on moving a certain person to a new role. Who is best suited for that new branch that you're opening up? Where we can work with your staff, we can work with you, we can work with individuals to help them see how they work together best. What do they need to be able to do their best job? And not everything that a person needs is financial. Sometimes what they need is peace and quiet. Sometimes what they need is the enthusiasm of working with a team. And each person is different. They're not like you. Spend as much time on our website as you want. Take out the assessment yourself, vet it, see how it works for you. If it works for you, then reach out to us. We'd love to see if we can help your organization. Thank you.
Les, I was taking down quite a few notes on that. The name of this organization or this assessment is the Real Living Assessment, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So, yeah, I know that it was over there in the corner, but it was a little blurry. So we wanted to make sure that people understood that the Real Living Assessment is the name of the program. So there was a lot of information in that little 5-minute video, and it was amazing some of the stuff he was saying.
Yep.
So one of the things that I found just extremely interesting, because we have, as business owners, we have a habit of doing this, but hiring people just like us, and that's not a good thing.
No, because then the problem gets exasperated. Well, first off, you never get challenged. And the only way we bring out our creativity is when we're challenged.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things that, in fact, taking it out of business. I have a friend that every time he came up with an idea or they're planning something, he said unless his wife challenged him or somebody challenged him, he never went back and see why he believed what he was saying. And if he believed it, then he came back and explained it and so forth and stayed with it. But a lot of times he found out it was because somebody else told him something and it wasn't his belief. And so then he changed. Well, business is the same way. That's what he said, that we hire people, yes people, and we never get challenged. And we never find out and grow in our business. And that's perfect what this assessment does. You can actually design it to go out and get that creative person to challenge you. And so it's quite unique. By the way, the assessment was used by the Fortune 500 companies, Coca-Cola, Lucent, Dell, many of them for 30 years, dozens of them. And the guy that was selling it to him retired, and he gave complete control over to JR, the person on the video. But it was also used for a period of time in the 80s at the Denver Seminary to show pastors who they should have on their staff and so forth. So it's got tremendous versatility, and it's only $275. And when a person takes it, like I said, there are 9 parts to it. Some of them are 15 minutes, some are 30, some are 45. But you take one at a time, then you could rest, and you don't have to take them all at the same time. And then we put it together with a 30-minute video, which explains it all. And you take that and you take it to your employer has a copy, you have a copy, and then they determine what they're going to do with it. And a lot of times they say, well, I can see you're in the wrong position, and so move them over. But the other thing, as he was talking about, is let's say the C-suite or a project that has been set up isn't doing their best, according to the owner. If they give this to everybody, then we individually look at how they all work together. And the other thing he mentioned is if management really sees the value of this, then we will do a 2.5-day training for online for $2,200 per person. And we will show them, once the assessment is done, how to figure out where it goes in the business. And if it's in person, that's $3,000 plus all travel expenses. But $2,200. So if the HR person, the COO, and so forth wants to attend this, then it's $2,200. But then they learn how to put people in the right spots. So it's really beneficial, and it's kind of like I mentioned on the white paper. There's a lady that she's been working with us since 2018, and she found out once she put people in her companies in the right spot they were designed for. The testimonials there's 5 different things that came of it, and one of the big things is everybody super wanted to do the work because that's who they were designed to be, and her management time really went down. So yeah, this is a huge, huge forward for any company. And also, if you're going to hire a contractor, have them do this assessment first. You'll find out if they have the tenacity, the creativity, and so forth to do the job, or if they're just trying to fake it. And it does have checks and balances where people can't fake it.
This is also really important for placing different employees with different customers.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, this is really good. This is going to tell people, you as a manager, you as a sales manager, so on and so forth. It's really going to tell you who's going to work better with who.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Good deal. But the other thing is one of the things, and this is one of the things I'm telling affiliate companies, before an affiliate comes on to represent them, if they give them this assessment, there's 2 things that will happen. One, if that person is not designed to be an affiliate of that product, they're just going to get frustrated with themselves because they can't get it from the manager. And the manager is going to spend a lot of time for nothing because the person cannot develop. One of the things it talks about on that white paper is they actually found over decades the people that got training and experience into something they were not designed for, it didn't stick. I mean, that's how much we're created to do certain things, not others.
And again, this all has to do with brain and how, look, as you mentioned just a couple of minutes ago, your brain tells people more about you than you can. So, yep. And there's really no hiding who you are when it comes to the brain.
That's true.
So,
and one other thing I'll mention is once a person sees this assessment, now this is personal, not to the company. If the person wants to know more about how they were actually their purpose statement, then we will do a 2.5, 3-hour coaching for another $225. And that person will come up with a purpose or a goal statement. And not goal, because usually goal is one and done. Purpose is what all of the goals will accomplish. So you come up with a purpose statement.
Okay. All right. And then the one last point that he was bringing up is conflict resolutions.
Yes.
Which I really found interesting, but it makes a lot of sense because it's, a lot of times, folks, and we all know this, when you're in a conflict with somebody, quite often you are saying the same thing that the other person's saying it. You're just saying it in different ways.
Yeah.
It's not at a point where you're so far away from each other that you can't fix it. It's, maybe there's just verbiage, or maybe there's just one little thing that needs to be made, and having a mediator in there, or having the training in there to bring the two people together is very important.
Yep. 100%. And one of the things that corporations found, the Fortune 500, is they saved a lot of marriages. Because once the employee took this and they had their spouse take it, they found out why their spouse was doing certain things. And one of the things that's interesting, about 30 years ago, if you remember the book, Men Are Like Mars and Women Are Like Venus, if you remember that book.
That's the second time this book's been brought up this week.
Is that right? The 60 Minutes did a story on it, and they had 10 couples, and they were having problems. And it was interesting. It was over a 3-week thing, and they taught them the principles of it. And there were 2 couples that were just about ready to divorce. There was 3 couples, I think, that just wanted a better relationship. And there was 2 newlyweds. And at the end of it, the 2 people that really wanted the divorce divorced. And the ones in the middle that wanted a better relationship stayed together. And then the newlyweds said they now had a track to live on. But it's interesting. One of the things that they found is the people that were wanting out, they just wanted a reason to get out.
Yeah.
And so this wasn't going to do any good at all. The ones that were struggling, one of the things, like one wife said, she said, well, since all men are this way, why would I get rid of mine?
There you go.
And which taught her a lot. And so it helped 8 couples, and the 2 that decided that they were going to do it anyway, it just gave them reason to split. And so it's kind of like this assessment. One of the things that for couples that are wanting to work together, and folks, marriage is work. It's really working to work with the other person, be less selfish, be goal-oriented together, very graceful. If you're looking for tools to keep the marriage together, then this will help. If you're looking for tools to get out of the marriage, this will help. It all depends what you want to do.
Yeah, and like you were saying, I do think it's I do think it's really, when you are in a place to where you just want out, but you don't know how to take that final step.
Yep.
That's interesting that they'd be able to do that. So I love that that could help make it even more clear. Les, we have one more video.
Yep.
You want to give us a little bit of a preview on this one?
You bet. One of the things I've been talking about for months is Be Connected is going to be redone. To give you the history on that, first off, J.W. Wilson, again, to give a background, he was known as a world leader in the study and application of brain science for motivation and behavior change. He taught Tony Robbins, he taught Robert Kiyosaki how to get along with their clients, and he taught Mayo Clinic how to connect with their patients, many different ones. Before he passed, he endorsed the platform Be Connected. And the reason is it's designed around neuroscience. And I can explain the different reasons why at another time. But the Be Connected for 5 years was sold to coaches in 140 countries. Now they're completely redoing it into a complete business package for sales forces. And they've come up with the demo. And this video that we're going to watch is a demo of all the tools this package are going to have. And so we're going to watch this and then I'll go into it.
Yeah, and all of these tools, Les, correct me if I'm wrong, all of these tools are just an upgrade of what they already have.
Yes. Yep.
So, okay, well, we've got one more video. This one is approximately 8.5 minutes. So please stick with us. We will be talking a little bit more about this video. If you have any questions, please make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, and send us a message. Type the message. Even though this is recorded, I will still connect you with Les so he can answer your questions. You can get a hold of Les at 303-579-6881. That's 303-579-6881. Here is more about the wonderful program of Be Connected. We will be right back.
Now, the first thing I want to point out before I jump in and start clicking on a bunch of things is how simply ridiculous this is to operate. So simply clicking on your mouse onto video conferencing will take you right in there. First time you'll have to set up your camera and your microphone, and then you're good to go. And the thing I'll point out, because obviously it's very simple, very elegant way we've designed this. So we see here a very clean look, right? You got your video conferencing on the left, your chat on the right, but on the bottom down here, you'll notice that we've built in call to action buttons, and you don't find this on a Zoom, a Microsoft, or a Google Meets. And this is paramount important to people that have something to market or sell in the moment. You know, we consider it old school or insane to type in all the commands in chat. That is so outdated in our opinion right now. So again, with a click of a button from your audience, they can go to your website, they can buy directly, sending them to a landing page, taking a credit card, you can give out a newsletter, you can put people on your calendar with a simple click of the button without them getting lost or trying to remember or trying to seek you out on a chat system, because it's inversely proportionate to the bigger your group, the harder it is to find information as people are, flailing away, talking to each other. Now, if we get out of the gallery view and we look over to another view, say presenter mode, then we'll also notice the simplicity of if you need to change up, say, the links, because now you've gone to a different topic or you're in a different phase of this. Now, one other feature that you can't find in the big three of video conferencing is breaking down the number of attendees. Now, they'll tell you how many attendees are on the actual webinar or meeting, but they won't be able to distinguish like we do who's new, who's returning, who's a guest, and who's enrolled. Now, not only is this optics good for you in the moment, this information is also being captured and going over to the CRM. So when you're following through, obviously you don't want to write the same email to a brand new person in the follow-up as somebody that's already enrolled. Just simply increasing the efficiency of your conversions. Okay, so we go over to the calendar system. Now, calendar systems, obviously Google has a free one that incorporates about 500 million people, but Calendly is the leader with about 53% of the domestic market here in the United States. And of course, we can see here, very robust, break down your calendar by month, by week. Let's say we go over by day. And then let's say you want to add an event on your calendar system. Again, the CRM has got everything broken down. So you can send out, something to just the investors, just to your staff, just to your customers. Again, making it very simple, seamless, to be able to do all the necessary follow-up with just a couple clicks of the button. Then let's say you wanted to go and start immediately a meeting. And again, all it takes is a click of a button. Now, when you're in your calendar, you can simply click on the information that was captured. Let's say somebody tried to book a time. You can accept, you can reject, you can reschedule, or most importantly, if it's at that time of the hour, instead of looking for the URL or digging out an email, simply click and it'll take you right into your video conferencing. Now we'll go over to profile. Now the important thing to recognize here is this is searchable. So if somebody's, Googling you and they put in your name or your company name, this will come up, and it also can function as an additional website. So again, let's say you want to edit this. If you've ever set up like a Facebook page, it's just that simple. Change out a picture, put up a banner, put in the necessary information. Now what we see here, let's go to the, after you've done editing it, let's see what it looks like to the consumer. Now, the first thing I'll point out is if they want to book a time with you, it's right there at the ready to be able to get on your calendar so they can book a time to interact with you. Let's scroll down the page and we can see here, let's say you're a coach or you have a course or something that you're trying to promote. You can simply put that up there and they can enroll in your course. Or maybe you got an up-and-coming live event. And again, it'll show the event and whatever information you want to put down there. And then there's a calendar link, so we will book a time on their calendar. Now, the CRM and the marketing is too many components to cover, so I'll just give you the look and feel. Like all CRMs, it'll capture all your analytics and your data, charts, graphs, break it down. And again, a lot of the CRM information was done for you, so it's captured a lot of the information. This system is so robust, maybe you're on a virtual call and somebody's chatting it up. The AI is going to take that information, go find the individual, search on all their profiles, and find out exactly who they are. Of course, this is a way to see who the people in your system and what they're all about. We can come over here to a campaign, and we can break down the analytics. And of course, you can go in, it'll allow you to then tweak whatever course or whatever the campaign you're running is all about. And like I said, just due to time constraints, just want to give you a little bit of how simple it is to work all the software. All right, so we'll get out of the CRM. Let's go over to, let's say, courses. And again, this is a favorite for a lot of our coaches and trainers that are out there, where if they're wanting to just say design a course, it's as simple as giving it a title, giving it a description. Then you have an option how you want to create your course. First, you can let AI design the course for you. Maybe you're a more robust coach with a lot of experience and you want to just go ahead and tackle it yourself and start from scratch. You can use a template or you can duplicate another course that you've already had. Now, once the course is created, a simple click of the button so you can review it. You can go in and make any kind of edits or changes to the course or decide maybe it's good to go. Now, once the course has been established, you got to get it out there, right? So again, with a couple clicks of a button, we make it seamless so you can put it on, maybe your favorite social media, Facebook, TikTok, or even an Instagram. All right, finally, we'll come over to the groups. Groups is another favorite to people that have communities. And again, very robust the way this is set up. So let's go ahead and say you want to edit your group. So again, as we go down the page, you can see we've thought of every conceivable option for your group as far as the interaction and talking amongst the community or you talking to the community. So let's go up here and go back and say, let's want to go ahead and then view. Again, same functionality. If somebody in the group wants to reach out and talk to you, if you're the host, set up a time on your virtual call. And again, you can sell content within the groups. So again, you can make it seamless to be able to offer a course or something that you want to offer the group. And again, maybe the group, you've got an up and coming live event. Again, same functionality, couple clicks of a button, will put that event right on their calendar.
It kind of ended on me real quick there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I
but
cut some of the stuff off. I only wanted the pertinent stuff in there.
yeah. So, um, another another great video. Um, I love a couple of the things that it said in there. The call to action instead of the chat. I think that is really inventive and first class. I think that's really cool, and that maxes in or sorry Max, that matches in with the AI that fills in all the contact gaps. Those
Yep.
are two really neat things that this offers.
Yep. And to explain a little bit why, neuroscience wise, there's two parts to gaining a client. The first off is marketing. Whether you do it or you pay for somebody to give you leads to get a person to actually meet with you virtually. That's the first part. The second part is once a person meets with you virtually, they're looking for two things. First off, they want to see that we're a creative problem solver. They want to see that we're an expert. In fact, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
If you went to the paper and you saw an ad and you were looking for knee surgery, and the guy said, well, I do knee surgery, I repair lawnmowers, and needless to say, you're not going further. People want specialists.
Right.
And the one thing JW's book talks about is stress kills all sales. And when you go to that platform, first off, you see something different. And you're able to see a background. On mine personally, I have shaking hands. So people realize I want a community of cooperation. And the background of that can be changed to any color. So if you want soothing, light blue. But the other thing is when you have, let's say, 15 people on a webinar and they're chatting back and forth, and people put a link in the chat, what happens to it? It gets lost.
Yeah.
And
Or
people scrolling
technology comes in. A lot of people think, okay, I saved the chat, so it's just going to be there. There was a lot of times less that I would take, and I would just manually take and click and drag and make sure that I had it, because I don't trust Zoom with the
Yep.
save chat box.
But the interesting part is once a person starts going up and down and searching for that, they start experiencing stress. And once they start experiencing stress, the buying signal is gone. Then they're just there for information. So it is imperative to have a platform that reduces stress. And this does. And that's why it's so unique and different. And if you'll notice, he started off on the meeting. And then if you want to educate somebody, you immediately go to the teaching platform. And just to give an example, let's say you're in travel. And the first slide is about cruises. And so below those buttons, you have book a cruise, get a article on cruising, take a set up on my calendar, so let's talk about it. And then the next one, you show a forest with bike riders, and you're able to change the buttons under it while you're doing it.
That I was going to bring that up. Yeah.
Yep. And so each time, any part of the presentation, you're able to change the buttons to which again immediately shows. See, there's another book, John Asher, Neuroscience of Sales, and he talks about that the first thing you want to do is establish curiosity. Because once you establish curiosity, the brain is open to receive more information, which makes sense. And so then you can ask them questions. So when you have this platform and people see it and they see it so different, the first thing that comes up is curiosity. What is this?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's opening the brain for all of it. And that's why this is so powerful. Plus, the next thing you go to is profile. The profile will replace all your e-business cards. You can have a QR code or a link to, in businesses now, everybody's using e-business cards, but they can use this instead. And right there on it, and it is also, so the two ways people can find you is when you manually connect them. And the other thing is it's SEO maximized. So people will be able to find it through Google. And so now that's where you can either personally invite people to a meeting or they can find it themselves through those. And then once we're on the profile, they can sign up on your calendar. They can take one of your courses. They can sign up for your webinar, and all from the our e-business card. And then the CRM, which you mentioned, is artificial intelligence, and it's putting all this together. Once a person comes to any meeting, any group, any course, it goes out to social media and find out everything about them. So that you will be able to write emails either through AI or your own to them. And that's where he showed when people come to a webinar, it shows if they're new, if they're a guest, if they're enrolled in one of the courses. And so when you're talking to them, of course, you're able to talk to them in that way. But also after that, the email is designed for that. This is a huge increase as far as businesses' possibility of increasing their business. And this platform is $125 a month. And by the way, anybody out there, this will be active, supposed to be at this point, the middle to the end of February. And when it is, if there's anybody out there that has clients that this can fit, and you introduce me to them, I will pay you $31 a month of the 125. And folks, as we all know, if you Google it, the average American family, it would turn around their life tremendously if they make $600 a month. And that's only 20 people that you introduce me to. If you introduce me to like a insurance agency, all those insurance agents, if you have 100, you'll have $3,100 a month or $40,000 a year. And so this will be a side gig for you if you want it. And now, if you can sign at least 500 people up, then we can talk about white labeling. And you put it in your name, and then it's a $5,000 a year licensing fee, and you get it for $50 a month. And so if you're selling it for $125, needless to say, you're making some very good money. But that's for people that have large connections, 500 or more. Otherwise, you just partner with me, and I pay you $31 a month, and you just introduce me to the people, and which makes a very nice side income. And again, if you just introduce 20, you're going to make $600 a month, and that right there, they say, will save 60% of households in America. They do not have $600 if they need it in emergency expenses. So that's kind of what we're doing.
Yeah, and network marketing also. I just wanted to bring this up. The being able to keep track of new attendees, I think that is so important for network marketers. That way, say there's a introduction that gets lost in the fold or something, you will still know who was there, who's new, and how long they were there, to see if it's somebody, like you said earlier. Are they going to lose interest in this? Are they going to be able to grow with this? Are they the right people? And a lot of times people think network marketing is just there to get you for that initial sign up bonus. You get in there, and then they don't care. And there are some out there like that, but there are some really good network marketing uh, places out there. And this would be a great opportunity for you, if you're running a network marketing foundation, because it does that. And the groups themselves in Be Connected are so, it's something that they do, and they do it really well. And that's an easier way to attract a lot of people to you.
Yeah, one other thing I'll mention, if you're on LinkedIn, if you're on Facebook, if you Google it, you'll find out that LinkedIn itself says, unless you meet their algorithms and have quality material and such and such and such and such, when you post something, only 3 to 5% of the people see it.
Yeah.
You can now invite people into your own groups, and they can either be paid or free. And if they're free, you can have a side course that they can buy for $25 a month, or the paid group. If you are an influencer, then you can bring those people into your group, and you don't have to worry about only 3 to 5% of people seeing you. All for $125 a month, folks. And we don't take any of the money. If you're charging them $25 a month for the group, you get every penny, except, of course, the processing fee. But that's the only thing you lose. We don't charge you like many different groups and so forth do for hosting things. So anyway, that's what we have to share with you this month. And pretty fantastic. And again, all your affiliate marketing managers, let's give your affiliates the assessment. Let them know if they're not doing well, it's not their fault. They weren't designed for it. And that way you don't spend extra time on somebody that can't handle it anyway. And again, I know it's tough to really believe that we were designed for certain things. We've been taught all of our life we can do anything we want to. Neuroscience says otherwise.
Yeah. And one of the quickest ways that you can really teach yourself and convince yourself that this is a viable way of learning is look at the person sitting next to you, and ask yourself, do they learn the same way I do? The answer is going to be no. Each one of us has our own different way. Some people are readers, okay? Some people, I listen to books. I am a terrible reader, Les. I start a book, and the first thing I start thinking of, I could be doing something so much more productive, which is a stupid thing to say to yourself because you're reading, you're learning. But I do. The first thing I think to myself is, you could be doing something so much more productive if you just listen to the book and go by it. So, but it's really important because we all are different, and we all learn in different ways. So, by the way, Les, so one of the things that I wanted to mention to you in the first video, and this is going back to the reading and listening to books, he had the Idiot's Guide to the Bible or something like that on his bookshelf. I've actually got that in my downloads.
Oh, okay.
I saw that and I was like, hey, there we go. I'm not the only one that has that. It made me happy. So, but anyway, less people can get a hold of you by calling you 303-579-6881. 303-579-6881. You can scan this QR code right above me. That'll take you to his family page on our website. It has all of his information there. That's how you can get a hold of him just by simply scanning that code. It'll take you to his page. Or less, they can email you at
Les, LES, at CSC Charlie Sam Charlie course, COURSE.com.
Well, thank you so very much, Les. It's to you and your beautiful bride. I know that you guys are trying to get together to do a little something for Miracle of the Season. I'm looking forward to that. If for some reason we are not able to connect before, Les, Merry Christmas to you guys. You and your family. I hope that you have a beautiful, beautiful season. And I really look forward to spending the time with you as this all rolls out into February, which of course is in line with the 22-hour podcast again. So
interesting. Okay. All right.
But all right. Well, thank you all. And once again, you've been watching the Les Simpson Show. And I appreciate you joining us. If you stick around, we've got more of the show to come. Everybody, how's it going? I'm proud to introduce you to somebody who, we talk a lot about how when something happens in your life, a lot of people tend to feel like, well, their life is over and things are going to be different now, and they don't know how to bounce back from this, and they don't know what they're going to do. And the truth is life might be different. The lifestyle you had before might be different, but it's definitely not over. And you can not just live with this new life, but you can thrive in this new life. You can make things so much better if you want them to be. And joining me today is somebody who is pretty much the epitome of that, is Raja Vaidya. How are you, my friend?
Uh, Thank you so much, Zach. Thank you. And for those that missed it, it's Raja Vaidya. Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be here
Damn
today. And it's all good, brother. I got you.
I had it. I was saying it over and over in my head too, over and over in my head, and then all of a sudden it comes out and it's like, you know. I claim head injury, Raj, but the truth is,
I
I
claim
wasn't
birth.
that. Yeah, I wasn't that bright to begin with. So I mean, educated in Kansas, which is
We're,
that's a scary subject.
Mhm.
You have a unique story because there were a couple things that happened to you that any one of these things could have made someone say, "I tap out, I'm done." But give us a little bit of background on some of the things that you've not only overcome, but you've kicked them in the nose, really. You've punched them in the throat and you've moved on and you've become very successful in everything you do.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm successful in everything I do, but I would say for sure I don't ever give up and I don't stop trying. And I think that's the lesson I want to portray to everybody is that we're all going to have those moments where we fall down, but like you hear in the Rocky movie, it's not about how many times you fall down, it's about how many times you get up. And so we're all going to go through challenges and struggles, and we can reframe it in a unique way. I mean, I joke around all the time. Listen, God gave me this speech handicap, but also made me this handsome, so it's a good balance. So now we laugh about it and we move on. And truly, that's the way we should be about everything. Is that yes, everybody got something different that they're struggling with. The grass is not greener on the other side; it's just a different color green. But we're all in the same palette together. I mean, I joke around like there is no race. Earth has one race, the human race. That's it. And if we can wrap our minds around that and understand that we have so many strengths that bring us together and we focus on those, that's what I love to talk about. And so when you talk about the challenges and when I go from trauma to triumph and what I've gone through in my life, I mean, geez. Well, first of all, I'm an immigrant. I was born in Bombay, India. Now they changed it to Mumbai in the past, I think 10, 15 years. But I still call it Bombay because that's where I was born. Came to the US when I was very young, but I remember going to school for the first time here. And in second grade, I was 7 years old. I used to get into such bad speech blocks that my second grade teacher, God rest her soul, she's probably gone now. She thought because I used to get so stuck and I couldn't breathe when you got into these speech blocks for 30 seconds, like she thought there was something mentally wrong with me. So she told the guidance counselors and she told them like, you need to put this kid into special ed. And they did for years. And so I had to fight my way out of that. The only way I knew how was like, you know what? I felt like it was nice I had a new group of friends, but I felt like I didn't quite belong. So I realized the only way that I could prove myself was through my grades. So I said, all right, fine. I'm going to try to show them that I'm a good student. And so at least they'll stop believing in this. Because like once you get that stigma, people don't want to change it, especially teachers. And so by the time I got to sixth grade, I had the top scores in math and science, not just in my classroom, in the entire sixth grade of 4 classrooms. So then they realized, oh, maybe this kid doesn't belong there. But also at that time too, they switched me to advanced math and algebra and advanced science classes and everything else. But the bullying when I was in middle school got really bad because kids are kids, and those middle school years honestly are the worst I think for everybody. My personal opinion, because they were definitely the worst for me. They were the worst for my son. My daughter's in 8th grade. She's so happy to be going to high school next year, and so she said the same thing. It's like, yeah, kids are kind of weird at this time. I said, yeah, I know. It's growth, it's hormones, it's people are growing into the next version of themselves, and there's a lot of confusion and a lot of emotion along with it. But along with that, people try to find their place, and sometimes finding their place means they try to bully you so they can find their place by pushing you down. Well, I had enough when one time between classes, it was ironically in 6th grade also, I think the teacher was extolling my virtues finally, and some of the boys in the back of the room didn't want to change their perception of me. Oh, Raja, that's that dumb kid, right? In between an assembly and walking back to English class, 3 of them pushed me down in the stairwell and started kicking and punching me on the way back to the classroom. And it finally stopped when one of them finally smashed my head against the cement wall, and I crumpled to the floor. something had to change. I limped back to my class. I'm 30 seconds late. The bell had already rung. My teacher's asking me, Roger, what happened? And I saw those guys in the back of the classroom smirking at me. I was not going to give them the satisfaction. All the playground. I said, all right. Oh, nothing. I tripped on the steps. And that's it. But I knew something had to change. But luckily, around that time, that year, I had just seen the movie The Karate Kid. And I saw, oh, here's a kid like me. Moved to a new state, a new school, just like me. Got picked on because he was new, just like me. Got bullied just because he thought differently, just like me. I said, damn, he used karate as a life-changing event. And it changed the trajectory of his entire life. And now we have Cobra Kai, and fast forward 30 years forward, and there's a whole spin-off series, which is just, I'm like gleeful like a little kid again, watching these things and just amused with the whole storyline. But for me, I joined karate, and you'll laugh here. Like I went home that day and I asked my mom, it's like, mom, please, I got to take karate. She said, beta, no, they're going to hurt you. And so then I asked my dad, please, can I take karate? We can go check out the class. He's like, okay, beta, we'll see. Let's go. So we go to class. He signs me up for a year. Yes. And that's when my life started changing. Because unlike a lot of other people where they were treating it as just like an activity, I said, no, this is my mission in life. I got to change my life. I got to earn my respect. I'm going to do it through karate, just like Daniel LaRusso did. And it worked. By the time I was 16, I had gone to the World Championships, and I took home 2 trophies. So then I made a 2-year plan to go to the Olympics. 3 months after my 18th birthday, I beat out 400 black belts in an East Coast national qualifier. And I qualified for the Olympic team. I was going to come out to Colorado Springs that year to start training as an alternate for the Olympic team. And I didn't go because I was so embarrassed of being on TV. I didn't want people to interview me and see me as mentally different. I turned it down. And also my parents at that time, they didn't quite understand what karate was. They're like, oh, you're not Bruce Lee. Go do something important, like, this is like first generation Asian mentality. They're like, go to school, go become a doctor, lawyer, engineer, something important, right? Yeah, I became a cancer scientist. Yes, that is important. But I think I also missed my chance to be on the Wheaties box, right? Because I think I could have gone if I just had that. But my self-esteem was so low, even though I had confidence on the outside, inside I was like, I'm tired of getting picked on. I don't want to get picked on on TV of all places. So I respectfully declined, and that's one of those life regrets. I think all of us out there have something like that, where we said, we could have been more, but we took the wrong choice in life. But then again, maybe it was also something that I needed to do, because then now later on, I found 3 things that I found that I could hide. One was karate, so I didn't have to talk. One was singing, so I didn't have to talk. And the third was cancer research, so I didn't have to talk. And you and I have talked about this before, like when I talk about my TED Talk, it's titled How to Speak When You Can't Talk. Part of that journey, I discussed how one of the companies I work with, I helped build up to a $30 million. I was a fantastic scientist in the lab. They bought our company, and we became a part of the J&J family of companies. But while I was there at J&J for the next 10 years, I noticed that, like, even though I wanted to present my work, I kind of didn't want to. I was afraid of being embarrassed. And also the managers said, well, you take too long. We're going to have to let someone else present it. We know you did the work. Problem is, every year or two, because I did such good work, I was getting every year Encore Awards, Inspire Awards. I got nominated for a Spark Award for technical merit also. I won 2 Inspire Awards for improving company culture through my speaker confidence workshops. And yet, These other people that presented my work, even though acknowledged me, they got the promotion and I didn't. Every single one of my friends that we all joined the company together, they got promoted 3, 4, 5 times. I got promoting none. And that's a clear violation of the Americans with
Absolutely.
Disabilities Act. And then the last one, the 7th one, we worked together for 9 months doing this excruciatingly physically challenging project. I created the best clones that the company had ever seen. They used my cell lines as the standard for the next clinical trial. I got another Encore Award for technical expertise and adding value to the company. But for my efforts, when she presented our work, she left my name off the slide deck. And I don't know what you think about that. Raise your hand if anybody of you out there have ever seen someone take credit for your work and they get away with it. Yeah. And I was livid. And I told my boss, I told his boss, I got HR involved. I said, what you can do about this? They said, oh, it's nothing. It's unprofessional, but it's not like you didn't break the laws. I'm like, yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. Because at best, it's unprofessional.
Plagiarism, isn't it?
It's plagiarism.
Isn't that plagiarism?
Acknowledge. Yeah, half the slides in there were mine. So, in the end, the rub, the extra salt in the wound was that she got a promotion. And because of how much work I had done, I injured both of my rotator cuffs and I was in a physical therapy for a year. And I was so pissed off and in pain. I couldn't pick up my little daughter. She said, Daddy, Daddy, Daddy. When you have a 3-4-year-old at the time, like, gosh, I couldn't pick her up. I mean, imagine how frustrated, depressed I was, and just mad at the whole world and thinking, that's it. I'm done now. If this other company treats me, I'm just going to do just put in the minimum and just whatever, go. But my parents taught me better. They said, Raja, you have to do something more than that. That's not the right way to do things. So I said, all right, fine. I'm going to forgive, but I won't forget. I'm going to find a way to grow myself. Because I started thinking about and started reading personal development books. And I think my biggest problem was I was still ashamed of my speaking skills. So I said, all right, what's the hardest thing I have to do? Oh God, I got to practice public speaking. Well, where the hell do I do that? Well, I found Toastmasters. And if anybody out there is a Toastmaster, you guys all know what it is. It's a speaker and a leadership training organization. And I swear, as soon as I started it, I said, oh my God, I didn't realize how hard this was, but also how much fun it was. Because for me, I was like, the linchpin had been released. I felt like I'd been pent up, keeping so many thoughts and ideas and emotions inside me for so long. I was stuck and trapped in this box of fear. And I finally broke out of that box. And I got very comfortable being uncomfortable and saying, all right, I'm going to talk about these stories. Every speech was a new story and a new something that had happened to me. And as I went through that, I talked to them about my first triathlon, or when I placed at nationals, made the Olympic team, or when I got first chair at regionals and all state in high school as a base. And people thought, well, oh my God, this guy, wait, this guy that can't talk right, he can sing? I said, yeah. You want to hear something? And they would hear that voice and they'd think, oh my, whoa, there's some power lurking inside. I had no idea. And that's right. And that's why I talk about invisible disabilities actually as invisible superpowers. Because a lot of us have something hidden in it. They change the corporate terms for them all the time. Some people call them hidden strengths or hidden superpowers. And it doesn't matter what you call it. Every single one of us has something inside where we can reveal our greatness. And who was that made the statue of David? Was that
Da Vinci, wasn't it?
Or Da Vinci, yeah.
It wasn't my... okay, I think it was Da Vinci.
Okay, Da Vinci. So when he was carving that 6-ton block of white marble out of, and back then, there's no 3D printers, there's no reprints, and you get paid to do a commission for something like that. When he was asked later, how did you create this incredible, amazing, lifelike statue? And it's 17 feet tall. It's not like it's like the size of us. It's enormous. He said, you know what? I found the greatness that was in, and I revealed it by just removing the excess. And that's the way I think of it now, is that we all have greatness within us, every single one of us. And if we can just kind of let go of some of the extra extraneous things that really don't matter in life, like some of us are playing the rat race. Oh, my neighbor got a bigger house or a bigger car or a better iPhone or whatever. It doesn't matter. If we're chasing our tails, trying to compare ourselves to other people, that's the extraneous stuff that, long term, we're going to realize looking back 50 years later, it's like, yeah, it wasn't really that important. What should I have spent my time on? What if I should have spent my time, my money, my energy on? Because no one on their deathbed is going to say, "Man, I wish I had gotten the new iPhone 6 months sooner." They're not going to care about how much money you got in the bank. It doesn't matter. You can't take it with you. Every single one of us has regrets, and I think that's where, if you can reveal your greatness now rather than later, you're going to have less regrets in life, and you're going to have a more fulfilled life. Yeah?
Yeah. Hey, Raja, if we took and we looked at it more as in, okay, yeah, my neighbor's got a big car, but I've got a great family.
Yeah.
My neighbor's got a great, my neighbor's got a big house, but you know what? I love my kids. I love my son. I'm proud of what they do. I'm proud of my kids. I'm proud of my wife. I got a good thing going on. And we stop worrying about what everyone else has, because you don't know what they don't have. And we're trying to compare people, ourselves to other people, yet we don't know what the rest of their life is like. Nobody's got a perfect life, right?
No way. No, nobody does, me included. We're all working on something.
Right. And comparing yourself to someone else is something that, when I was younger, I did it. I tried to compare myself and, oh God, why can't I be like that guy? Why and now it makes no sense to me to even try, because I'm in a good place. Could things be a little better? If I work on them, they will be a little bit better. That's it. I no longer believe in mistakes. I believe I made choices, and I've learned from those choices. Mistakes, I've made mistakes too. There's been a couple times I ate one too many jalapenos last night, and that was definitely it truly did. But I mean, it truly is, as you know, a mindset. It is how you look at it. There is no such thing as a disability. It's look, I live my life different, but my life is no different. Okay. My life is important. Your life is important. I just have to do things a little bit differently. So disability, that term is, I don't get offended by it, but I really don't like it, because I live my life differently. I've worked hard to live my life as a person who suffers with migraines. So I've worked hard to live that is tough. To live a good life with migraines every minute of the day. It's amazing to me how you were able to take and through all that. What would you right now go back and say to the Olympic Raja? Would you suggest to him, you know what, if they interview you on TV and you struggle to speak,
Yeah.
would you prefer that, or would you prefer if they just ignored you and made you feel different because you got left out of being talked to?
If I could go back in time and tell 18-year-old me, one thing I would say is, listen, you don't realize how many people need you and how many people you inspire. Don't be selfish and take the easy button. Go do the hard thing, and it will make all the difference. Just like Robert Frost said, I took the road less traveled, and that has made all the difference. And you'll find that in life, yes, there are easy choices. Sometimes you should take them, but sometimes there's a hard choice, and maybe out of fear or out of whatever reason, we don't take it because we think either we're not worthy or we're not good enough. Or if that's the reason, then maybe that's the journey you should take, because that is where you're going to see the most growth. That is where you're going to see the most impact in your life and for the people around you. And also think about the people that look up to you later on in life. When you leave a legacy, what is it that you want to leave behind? I'm creating a life now. I pivoted now as a speaker, a keynote speaker, a breakout speaker, consultant, an author, and all these things that I've done all happened in the last 6 or 7 years. And it's amazing how much life has changed. If you told me 7 years ago, Roger, you're going to be a grandmaster, you're going to be in the Black Belt Hall of Fame, you're going to be in movies, you're going to be starring in a comic book series, collectible, and you're going to, I just did voiceover work for an indie animation film because somebody heard me sing in an opera. And so because they loved my voice, they said, Roger, we don't care how you speak. Can you do this voiceover work for us? So I just did a voiceover for a new film. And so I am shocked at myself. I'm like, wow, why did I wait so long to reveal my greatness? And I think all of you out there, don't wait to reveal your greatness. Do it now, because you're all just better than you realize. You're more powerful than you realize, and the world needs you. The world needs that inspiration, because they don't need perfect people, right? Nobody's perfect. And I'm definitely a true example of that. I'm not perfect. My wife and I fight all the time. She always wins, right? And
it's not that you fight all the time. You lose. You lose
the majority of the time. Yeah. but through it, that's how you build that love and passion. I mean, we've been married 23 years, so we just banter all day, and that's how you know it's a good relationship. We can bicker and banter all day about it, and it just, at the end of the day, it's like, just for us, it's just kind of funny. For the kids, are like, oh God, stop it! You're complaining again. I'm like, no, we're not complaining. We're talking. This is how we talk now. But that if that wasn't there, that constant challenge for my growth, because she keeps me on my toes. She's a pistol, super smart woman. I always say, like any smart man, if you married a smart woman, appreciate her. And I always say that to other women too. If you're with a good man, appreciate him too, because trust me, men also get the downside of that too. We're usually underappreciated in most relationships. So I would like to encourage all men, if you feel challenged, go out, talk to other guys, go out for a guys' night out, and feel free to vent, because we all need that too. And Zach, I'm telling you, like, I had a friend of mine, I remember when I worked at University of Pennsylvania years ago in my first cancer research lab, there was a guy who used to get migraines, and I saw him, like, how debilitating they are. So I understand, I've seen it firsthand. So like, kudos to you for doing what you do and bringing out your story and your message. You're also inspiring to other people as well. So don't stop doing that. And just like I said earlier, go be the imperfect self, because that's the version that people need to see, because you're not going to connect with a perfect person. Nobody does. But you connect with an imperfect person because, oh, they're dealing with something just like me. And that makes you more relatable.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, something that should encourage everybody to not be afraid of their mistakes is it's not just you who learns from that mistake that was made by that bad choice. Other people around you see how you react to that. And that's what they're going to take from it. They're not going to take, oh my God, look at that. Look what he did. He, he put blue on the red spot or whatever. What was he thinking? No, they're going to go, okay, look how quickly he reacted to that and made the
Yeah.
adjustment. Yeah. And
Yep. Square
that's
peg in
what's
the round
really
hole.
going to, yeah, there you go. So why can we not get it across to some people that just because someone is different, somebody does have a quote unquote disability, that they need to, it's in the way I look at this, Raja, I get so upset when I hear people go, oh, these kids today, they don't know how to work. They have no work ethic. They have no, wrong. They've just found a way to do it easier than we have done it our entire lives. And
Differently, that's all.
differently. What we need to do is we need to walk up to them. We need to say, hey, look, this is how we did it. How are you doing it now? And maybe there's a happy medium in there. What do we need to do to get people to understand that just because somebody has ability issues, ability difficulties, they are still so valuable because they've overcome them.
Well, here and Zach, that's a great question. If I'm hearing you right, you're asking, how can we convince somebody else that this unique ability is not a detriment? It's not going to hold back productivity. It's not going to hold back profitability for a company or for a team or for a relationship or any aspect of that. Here's a simple truth. The people that have these challenges, these different abilities, they don't have the problem. It's the people who are closed-minded who have the problem.
Yep.
That is the issue. And so part of it is we need to educate people that, look, just because someone is different, it's fine. Now, granted, if you love to go rock climbing and you're best friends with someone who's in a wheelchair, maybe they can rock climb with you, maybe they can't. That's okay. Find something else you can do together. I know people, a friend of mine in college, his name is Rocco, he was in a wheelchair, and when we go to dances, we still see him on the dance floor. And he'd be having a good time with all the girls circling around him. And sometimes guys would be like, oh man, that's not fair. He's getting all the girls. I'm like, well, he's a fun guy. Maybe you should talk to him. Maybe you should change your attitude a little bit more. And so, everybody has a unique skill set that should be appreciated for its value, not for this one thing that you think. And I emphasize what you think is a detriment, but it's really not. So in other words, flip your fear to your superpower. I've now taken my speaking voice and I now use it to inspire thousands of people. And I've spoken up to 8,000 people live. My next goal is I want to speak to a stadium. I want to speak to 50,000 people because not because I want to be seen, but because I think this message really needs to get heard, is that every single one of us has greatness within us, and we need to reveal that superpower, and in a very natural, casual way. Like I'm not, I still joke around. Like I said, hey, God gave me this speech handicap, but also made me this handsome. Haha. Now we laugh and move on, right? That's how we should talk about different abilities. It's like, hey, so what if you're stuck in a wheelchair? Who gives a shit? If you're the best coder on the IT team, who cares if you got legs or not? Man, you're a rock star. You make out the next super game, or you make the next app that gets 1 billion downloads. Dude, you're a rock star. It doesn't matter what your ability or different ability is, right? A person like me, even though I had speech disabilities, when I interviewed for GlaxoSmithKline for my last position, I beat out, I think, 100 other candidates. They brought in maybe, I think, 10 for virtual interviews. They brought 3 on site, and I was the final one. They chose me. And a week later, when I asked them, like, hey, listen, now that I'm already here and I'm already working, just wanted to really ask you, just heart to heart, what was the one thing that made me stand out? Like, why did you choose me? And they actually said, you know, Raja, it was your ability to communicate effectively. I'm like, what? Really? And I said, like, despite the stutter, and they said, yeah, actually, that wasn't as much of an issue as you thought it was, because the way you listened, you answered people's questions with what they really needed. You showed that you were the right person for this job because you were thinking about what the other person needs, and very few people do that. You did that exceptionally. And that's where I think we got to get in the mind of our audience and the mind of the people that are around us. You know, it's not about us. It's about what's in it for them.
See, I wonder something just with your answer there, and I was kind of thinking of a way to ask you the question, but with your answer, it became very apparent to me. One of the things that we need to not do is work on how do I hide my,
Yeah.
how do I control the narrative to where they don't, they don't think about that I may be a little bit different. Not to hell with that. Be
Hell,
different.
yeah.
Show them
Be
how different
proud
you
of
are.
it.
But tell them I'm the person for this job, and you tell me why I'm not. Okay. I'm going to prove to you that I'm good at what I do. I'm going to prove to you that I'm the right person, and I dare you to not pick me. So I think I think that's really the best way to go about this. You like we've all every person on this world has something that they struggle with, you know.
Indeed.
And so, don't people are just different. That's every person's different, thank God, because we all need each other. We all need their differences. So, just show people what you've done, and that's enough. That's truly enough. If you be you, you truly be you.
Yeah.
Don't try to be someone else in your body. You be you, and that's going to be that
That,
strength.
that reminds me of a story from Toastmasters meeting I did once. When I was giving my 10th speech in Toastmasters, my speech mentor, her name is Carol Coster. Great storyteller, great speaker, and just such a warm-hearted person. She had seen my growth over the past year as I developed and learned as a speaker how to give a speech, how to properly convey a story and a message with impact and conviction. And she said, you know, Raja, I don't even think you realize this, but you use a lot of tools, statistics, props, and all this kind of stuff to give your speeches all the time. And I don't even think you realize this, but you are enough. And that really just shook me to my core. I'm like, what? No one had ever validated me like that. Like, no one had ever said, like, my gosh, you don't need all this extra extraneous stuff. Just you are enough. And that's where I really came to realize, oh my God, that's the greatness within. That's the thing that I never realized I was good enough. So here I am. I have all these achievements. I got a scholarship to college and making the Olympic team and being a black belt and a grandmaster and all this. I had still all this insecurity in me until I heard that somebody say, you are enough. You don't need to prove anything to anybody else. And that's where I think a lot of that mind shift for me really began. And that's when I started saying, oh crap, that's what I've been doing my whole life, thinking I'm not good enough and trying to prove myself every time with friendships, with coworkers, with family. And I realized, holy shit, I don't need to do any of that. I'm already great. And not egotistical great, but just I didn't realize I already was. So you're out there,
Look,
man.
it's not an ego if you can prove it. I
Sure.
mean,
Yeah.
it's not an ego, and it's not an ego if you're going to use it as a point of bragging. It's just it's realism. Why is it? And I know that we're cutting close here, but why is it, Raja, that you can sing without the stutter, but speaking is more difficult?
There's a lot of science behind that. They're saying that when you're speaking, you're using a certain area of your brain called Broca's area that handles speech and
Okay.
language. But when you're singing, or actually I've done this with like when I do an accent or do a mimic, like I do an impression or something,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's sort of like you're engaging more areas of your brain and you're breathing differently. So it's sort of like that timed breathing, like if I want to talk like this and chant my way through life, I can be fluent. But I sound like a big robot, don't I? So
Yeah.
I can, there are periods of fluency throughout my day where sometimes I get a, mm, a few minutes or so where I can be perfectly fluent, but the stutter just keeps coming back. So every day I got to deal with failure. I say, look, don't look at me as some big achievement. I face failure every day, every hour, every minute. I'm going to be disfluent and struggle with my fluency. But there's other periods of the day where I can be a little bit more fluent. And, if you can understand that, either way I give value. That's what counts. So it don't matter.
Brother, I'm gonna tell you right now, I would never look at you and see any point of failure, because I look at you and I see somebody who's being himself, and I see somebody who's doing great things. And the other thing is that you're still writing a story it's a beautiful story, and it's a story that's going to, show other people that there
Mm-hmm.
is, there's life after something. There's life after, tragedy. There's life after accidents. There's life after,
Yeah.
what you're born with. But
Mm-hmm.
there's life after struggle. So
Yeah.
it's just really how you approach it. Raja, you've got a couple
Yeah.
events coming up. Can you please tell people about?
Certainly, yeah. So if you're watching this live or on the replay, I have every Tuesday night. I have a speaker confidence mastermind where we go through executive communication, mind shifting, as well as using different AI tools, how to build a business online, how to get your marketing, your messaging, and your storytelling correct, so you attract the right high ticket clients. And in fact, I help thousands of people do this, and so that's one way you can reach out to me. But the best way is just look at my YouTube channel. It's at Raja Vaidya Speaker. So just go to YouTube and use a little at. My handle is RAJA VAIDYA Speaker, and you'll catch me with all the interviews as well as some examples of me singing. So you hear me singing some fun things like "This Is the Moment," or in spring concert, my choir teacher, a community choir director asked me what I want to sing. I said, and a great anthem was "This Is Me" from The Greatest Showman, because I felt that same thing, that feeling of hiding in plain sight and finally revealing who you are. And now I've let go of the shame of what I thought was my disability. And it's not that anymore. Now it's like I'm just sharing who I am. And every single one of you can do that. And if you're free, December 20th this year, we have our big annual end of year mind shift event to launch the next version of you for the new year. We don't wait till January 1st. Every month you can launch your mind shift, and that's what the Speaker Confidence workshops are for, and that's what this annual event is for. 3 hours of powerful transformation, and I invite all of you. It costs only $97, but because I'm on Zak's show and you're watching it, if you use the code MINDSHIFT50, all caps, MINDSHIFT, and then 50, you will get half off the ticket price because of Zak. So thank Zak, because he's an awesome guy. He's bringing you great value, and I just want to thank him for that and thank his audience for doing that.
Oh, I greatly appreciate that. All that information will also be tagged in the description of this video, so you can catch it there. Make sure that you check out everything that Raj has got going. And you need to go to his YouTube channel, because he and I reverse things. And he was asking me questions. So if you want to go back and you want to watch that, we had a lot of fun on that as well. So, Raja, I want to thank you so very much. By the way, just to let you know, if all things go as planned, you are going to have an opportunity to watch Raja sing as he puts in an entry in the Miracle of the Season. He's going to show what this is like and really show people that, you know what? Yes, this is a difficult season, but this is an uplifting time of the season, and things are not impossible. You may struggle speaking, but you may have the best voice in the world. So focus on the best voice in the world, not the troubles. So, Raja,
Absolutely.
thank you, my friend. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for
Thank you,
being
brother.
you. And thank you for the message. I appreciate it. It is so nice to hear.
I appreciate you, Zach. Okay, there's a victory bell for you too.
I appreciate it. Thank you so very much. We will be right back. I want to give a huge thank you to both Les and to Raja for joining us today. Two wonderful conversations. I really enjoyed both of them. Again, I also want to give an extra shout out to Les. Les has been a partner now for this will be his third straight year as a partner, and this will be going on his third year of his show coming up next month. And look, the guy's here every month. The guy is very special. He's a wonderful platinum partner. He's a giving partner. Every time you do any business with Les, you get involved with any of his products, with Be Connected, whatever it is, you get to donate to a mission partner of your choosing. That's the way it goes. Is you partner with him, you give to a partner of your choice. So please make sure that you reach out to Les today, see what you can do, and let's do some good together. All right, folks, we've got 15 days. Please make sure you're getting it done. I want you to have a wonderful, wonderful day. Have a wonderful rest of your week. And please remember, if you're not helping someone, you're hurting everyone. No one needs to go it alone when we all come together. Thank you very much. If you have any extra clothing, if you have any hoodies or anything like that, please make sure you're getting them to people in the community who need your help. Thank you so very much. Do that with food as well. Have a great day, and we will see you next Monday, where you're going to get an example of a story that hopefully you can model yours after.
Say, bring me home, out alone, show me the way. You wanna hold the heart of Sunset Boulevard. Bring me here, 'cause it's not quite clear to be a part of Sunset Boulevard.